In the 1950s and the 1960s, racial conflicts were a big problem in Birmingham, Alabama. A lot of people thought of it as the most racist city in America. 21 bombs were set off at African American churches in the city between the years of 1955 and 1963. People gave the city the nickname Birmingham. Many civil rights leaders were trying to help fix the problems in Birmingham. One of those leaders was Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Activists worked to plan protests and events. The people who went to protest often got arrested. The police in Virginia did not allow the protest to happen without trouble. Civil rights leaders and community members went to the 16th Street Baptist Church to plan meetings. It became well known as a place where activists met. Until Sunday, September 15, 1963, no one was killed in the bombings on that day. The 16th Street Baptist Church became the site of another explosion. At 10:22 a.m., the teenage Sunday school secretary got a phone call. The person delivered an anonymous message just saying 3 minutes. Less than 1 minute later, the bomb went off. 15 sticks of dynamite were hidden under the church steps. The explosion hit a back room in the church. Inside, 5 girls were getting ready to sing in the church choir. Witnesses said the bomb caused the girls to fly through the air like rag dolls. The blast also tore a 7-foot wide hole in the wall. In fact, the explosion was so powerful that a man who was driving by was blown out of his car. The bomb killed four of the girls. Addie Mae Collins, 14, Carol Denise McNair, 11, Carol Robertson, 14, and Cynthia Wesley, 14. The 5th girl, Sarah Collins, was badly injured. Pieces of glasses had flown into her eye and blinded her. Beyond the 5 girls, the explosion injured 19 other people. Black people in Birmingham reacted quickly to the bombing. Many people rushed to the church to help look for the bodies and church's ruins. Hundreds of others stormed the city. They burned buildings that white people owned and protested violently. It took 300 extra state policemen to help Birmingham's police get the city back under control. The funerals for the 4 girls got a lot of attention around the U.S. Thousands of people, including more than 800 salarymen of all races, attended. Martin Luther King Jr. was also there. He spoke at the event. He encouraged people to keep working toward civil rights. He hoped that if they worked hard enough, crimes like the bombing would no longer happen. The investigation of the crime was done poorly and took a long time. At first, the state of Alabama offered $52,000 reward for the bombers' arrest. 25 FBI agents came to work on the case. Part of what made the investigation hard was the lack of evidence. A lot of people had been destroyed with their names, with the church. Finally, the FBI discovered that the bombers were four members of the Ku Klux Klan. Their names were Thomas Edwin Lanton Jr., Herman Frank Cash, Robert Edward Chambliss, and Bobby Frank Cherry. Unfortunately, the case was closed in 1968. The men were never arrested. Problems within the FBI administration were plain. There was a new Attorney General in Alabama in 1971. He started looking into the case again, digging up old evidence. His efforts helped convict the group's leader, Robert Chambliss. He was sent to jail in 1977. The rest of the men were free until 2000. Then the FBI reopened the case. Bobby Cherry had died, but Thomas Blanton and Herman Cash were convicted in 2002. The bombing at 16th Street was terrible, but it was also very important. People were able to see how bad racism really was. The event was part of why President Lyndon B. Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act in 1964. After the act, it became harder to treat people poorly based on their color of their skin.
Praise God. Boy, today has been priceless. Amen. A wonderful participation by our young people. And that reading it just brought back so many memories of so many tragedies that happened in those days, and nothing was ever done about it. People got away with any and everything they wanted to do because they knew that the law would do nothing to them. And it's sad, but it is true that we still have things like that happening right now. There's still no justice in a lot of things that's happening right now in America. So we've come a long ways, but we got a long ways to go. That everything is equal. When God created man, He created us equal. But the world, society has made us so unequal that it seems like we are always looking up because we're never to the point where we can look down. And maybe that's how God intended, that we would always look up. That we would never be so satisfied that we could ever look down because we're too busy looking up at Him, because we know that only through Him that we're going to be able to make it. As Sister Helen gave her reading, I thought about it. How isn't it amazing that a country so rich has such poverty? And when you come over to America, the second richest place in the world, we have poverty. Doesn't make sense. It doesn't equate with the riches that we have. Why is there people that are hungry, sleeping on the street? How is it possible for one to have so much and so many have so little or nothing at all? I don't believe God intended to be that way. But man has stolen. He knows every trick in the book. But I'm glad that man does not have the final say. Because one